Hello and welcome to another video for Let's Go RV. I'm John, and in this video today we're going to show you how to change the oil on an Onan 5500 generator. We'll also give you a couple of pointers if you have an Onan 4000 generator, because there's a little bit different configuration on the oil drain plug. What you'll need is some oil. I'm going with the 15 weight 40. I'll show you in just a minute why. And then a drain for your oil, a new oil filter. I always go with the Onan so that it's a genuine Onan filter, so that it goes right with this particular generator. And then towels to clean up any spills. First, what we do is open our compartment, open up the door for the compartment of the generator, set it aside. I've already run the generator for about 10 to 15 minutes. What that does is gets your oil hot and makes it more fluid, so that to drain it, it'll come out faster and easier. A couple of things to note in here. This is different than the 4000 generator. To drain it, this is the drain right here. We're gonna turn this counterclockwise and it's gonna drain out of the hose that's right below here. So I'll place my pan here. On the Onan 4000, you have to crawl under, and there's a diamond-shaped piece of metal, about that big, maybe a little smaller, with two screws in either end, and it has a star-shaped fitting. So you have to unscrew that plate first, then get your ratchet on there to undo your drain plug. That's about the only difference on the two though. But this is a 5500, so it's got a different design. In order to drain it, I'm gonna put some gloves on. It's a little bit hot, so rather than burn myself, I'll just put that on. I'm gonna turn this counterclockwise. It'll open up the drain. I'll give it some airflow so that it doesn't create a vacuum in there. And it's just gonna drain out. We'll give it a little bit for it to drain. You're gonna wanna unscrew this all the way. It actually stops, and then you get a better oil stream coming out of there, so it won't take quite so long. On the generator itself, there's the service information. And I had told you earlier that I went with the 1540. The reason I did that is because the 1540 goes from 10 degrees to 100 degrees. And that's about where we are temperature-wise for our camping or our road trips that we've been doing. If I'm in the wintertime, I might go to the 0 to 80 degrees, which is the 1030. You'll see that down below there. We don't ever do anything at the negative 20 to 50 range. we're in this other ranges. And then over here it shows you which filter to get, and you'll notice there's an air filter listed as well as an oil filter. And then it also takes about 2 quarts with the oil filter to fill this thing up. It's recommended every 150 hours on the generator to change the oil. So we've reached that 150 mark, and that's why we're changing it, the oil and the filter. And it recommends every 450 hours to do the air filter, but to clean it each 150 hours. So I'm just gonna show you how to open that up. There's 3 clips that you unclip, lift out the bottom, and the top comes out very easily. This is really clean. We've only been on a road trip with this so far. It's a brand new rig, but it's really clean and in good shape. Everything looks really good. So I don't need to do anything with this today. So in order to put it back in, I just pop it back in, tuck the 3 tabs up inside, but you kind of have to push on the blue foam as you put it in there to get those locked in there. And then you just clip the clips back on, and it's done. Now pretty much all of the oil is drained out. It's just down to a drip. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this valve off again. And I'll keep my drain underneath it still, because it's just still dripping out of the hose that's connected onto it. And now I'm gonna remove the filter. In order to do that, I have to get underneath. This is the underneath side. We've got our oil filter right here. That's where the oil has been draining out of. And again, on the 4000, the Onan 4000, there's a diamond-shaped metal piece right about in here that you have to remove. And then the drain plug is right up inside the bottom part. On this one, we just need to replace the oil filter that's right here. So we're gonna unscrew it and put the new one in. Now what I need to do, I actually had to take off my gloves. It was too slippery. and I had to loosen it. I had to really wrench on it with my both hands to get this thing loose. But I finger tightened it loose. Now I'm just gonna take it off. Should have done it a little bit more, but it's moving. When you take this off, you've got to be careful because there's gonna be oil in it. So I'm actually gonna scoop my oil pan over now so that it's underneath the filter so that I don't drip any where it should not drip. We wanna just keep it straight up. And then as I bring it down, I can actually tip it in to the can there and just drain any excess out of the oil filter itself. I'm gonna leave that draining for a minute. I just took it out from under the RV, and now I'm gonna go to the correct filter, which you can see it says 1220836 for the oil filter. So I've got the 1220836. I bought 2 of these on Amazon. That was the easiest way for me to do it, and it came pretty quickly. Now I'm gonna take the new filter. I put the lid on my oil, tipped it upside down quick and back up. So I got a little bit of oil in the lid. I'm just gonna get a little oil on my finger, run it around the top gasket, or the filter gasket, so that that'll seal better onto the generator itself. Then I go back underneath. You can see where the filter's gonna go back up in. Just push it straight up in there, turn it clockwise. And you just hand tighten this. You don't have to wrench it, but just hand tight so you can get it back off again the next time, a little bit easier than what I had. Now I'm ready to put the oil back in. I like this right here because it's not as far in as my 4000 was. The 4000 I had to use a funnel, so you might have to use a funnel on yours as well. This one will work with the quart size bottles, or I get the bigger bottle just because then I can do it a couple of times with it. So I'm just about at 3 quarts full here. I'm at 2 2/3 about. So I'm gonna try to go to about 1.5 to start, maybe even a little less than that, just so I don't overfill. And then I'll check it and see where I'm at. I'm close to 1.5 quarts left on my bottle of oil. So I'll just screw that on, check it out, see where I'm at. It's at the bottom, so I'm gonna go ahead and add some more. It's actually maybe halfway up the fill stick here, but I'll go a little bit more on it. I checked it 2 or 3 more times. I'm just about at the full level, so I'm gonna go ahead and start it up. I'm gonna put the dipstick all the way in this time, tight. And then I'm gonna go ahead and start it. And I'll run it for just a few minutes, let the oil all get in there, and then I'll check it again. Once I ran the engine, I took it down on my fill dipstick just a little bit, and so I added some more, checked it each time, making sure that I wasn't overflowing, got it up to full, and as I look on my can here, it's really about 2 quarts, which is what the manual says for this particular engine. So 2 quarts, replace that, then I'll just put the cover back on and it's ready to go for another 150 hours. I'm gonna make sure that this oil from the drain is kind of cleaned up just so that it doesn't drip all over our RV pad. And it'll probably drip just a little bit, but not too bad. We should have most of the oil out of the filter. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna just put that back in the box from my new one. And we will take the oil and filter to a place close by to distribute of it the way that it's supposed to be. Hopefully this video was helpful to you. We'll continue to put on some helpful RV tips in the future. Go ahead and like and subscribe. Put in any comments or questions in the comments area. We'll make sure to get back to you. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.